Welcome back, guys. This is Ivan from the Cypress College Cyber Club, and today I'll be showing you guys how to enable the Linux subsystem in the Windows 10. This is a new feature that was added in 2019 with version 1909 of Windows, and was recently updated in Windows 2004 to the Linux subsystem 2. So there is now a second version that is much more efficient and quicker, less overhead essentially. And this is a very easy way to basically mess around with the Linux terminal and get familiar with the command line right from home. You don't have to dual boot or install Linux distribution yourself onto your computer. You can just install Linux inside Windows 10 and mess with it, from the comfort of Windows 10. So to do that, you obviously need to be on Windows 10 version 1909 or newer. Preferably, you want to be on version 2004. And way you check that is you right-click the Start and click on System. And this brings up the information about your computer system. And as you can see here, I'm on Windows 10 Pro version 2004. So as long as you're on 1909 or 2004, you should be okay on, with these instructions. But if you want to be, matching exactly as I am, just make sure you're on 2004. You can get to this by using Windows Update. So I'm sure you know how to do that. So to start, what you want to do is go on to search and type in Windows features. And what you'll see is probably two things come up just like mine. And what you want to click is turn Windows features on or off. You will be asked for your password or prompt, so go ahead and enter it, hit yes. And this little window is going to come up with all of the Windows 10 features that you can disable or enable. Right off the bat, what I want to do while I'm in here is disable Internet Explorer. Nobody uses it. And then if you scroll down, you can find a lot of pretty neat features that you can enable or disable. But what we're concerned with for the purposes of this video is the Windows 10 subsystem for Linux. What happens when you enable this is that essentially the Linux kernel is loaded into Windows so that you can run native Linux programs or applications inside basically like a virtual Linux terminal. So this is only the Linux terminal that you will have. It's not going to be a complete desktop experience, but it will get you the command line so that you can mess with the commands and all that in Linux. So go ahead and click the little check and then hit OK. You will see this loading bar come up. Just let it do its thing. Once it's done, you will be prompted to restart your computer. So I will go ahead and do that now. Once you're back, you can go ahead and resume this video, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, welcome back. I just came back from rebooting the system. If you just follow that step, then you already have the Linux subsystem enabled on your computer. Pretty much now we just gotta find a distribution that we like and install it. So the way you do that in Windows 10 is go through the Microsoft Store and essentially search up any popular or mainstream distribution. The only reason I say that is because I don't think every possible distribution is in the Microsoft Store, but I'm pretty sure they do have the mainstream ones, or at least the popular ones, right? So if you type in Ubuntu, it will almost certainly come up. And there it is. So there are 3 versions. We got Ubuntu, which is probably the most current, although probably the experimental version, right, where they're always adding new features, not necessarily meant for long-term support. what you want to go with is 20.4 LTS. This is actually the most recent that is, well, pretty much considered long-term support. It's in the name, so that means that this is something you can use that'll remain stable for quite some time. So once you're in here, you just gotta hit install, and it'll begin downloading Ubuntu. It is a decently sized download. It is 500 megabytes or so. So just give it some time. If you have a faster connection than I do, then it'll be quicker. And well, we'll be back. Alright, the installation or the download just finished. So now we're gonna go ahead and launch it, and that's gonna begin the initialization and installation of Ubuntu onto the Linux subsystem in Windows 10. You can go ahead and close the Microsoft Store now. This part right here may take a few minutes. Just give it some time, it will eventually finish. This will be the same process for any distribution you go with. Once it is done, however, you will see this prompt come up to pretty much make your login. So what you want to do here is enter the username you want to use. It could be anything. It does not have to match your Windows username, as it says right here. So in my case, I'm just going to type in my name, hit enter. Oops. And then for the password, just go with something simple for the purposes of this video. Then I'm going to confirm that password. And once you do that, it is done. So just to test it out, make sure we're in Linux, I'm going to go ahead and type in some Linux commands here. And I think, here we go. So we'll go ahead and type in directory, and basically this will show me all the directories in the current directory I'm in, right? I'm going to change to the home folder and see what's in here. Find out there's a directory called Ivann. I guess something I could try immediately that's specific to Linux is the IP command. I'm going to show details on the available links or interfaces. Oh. There we go. And as you can see, these are all the available interfaces on my computer. So yeah, this is pretty much it. This is how you, as you can see, this is Linux. This is the specifically Ubuntu terminal. You can run any Linux commands. You can also install packages, although some may or may not work. For example, if it requires a GUI, it's probably not going to work just because this is definitely only a terminal solution. If you do want the full experience of using Ubuntu or any Linux distribution, then you might want to still go forward with the an actual full installation onto a separate hard disk or SSD. I do not recommend installing two operating systems on the same drive. It could cause some issues down the line. So yeah, just have fun with it, experiment, get familiar with Linux. Once you're done installing in the future, to open up Ubuntu, what you can do is let's see, I'll close that out. All you gotta do is find it either in your program list, or you can type it in to find it quicker. I'm gonna go ahead and pin it somewhere. Essentially, the way Windows treats it is as its own application, just like anything else. Another cool thing that you can do is that Windows 10 has an application that just came out called Terminal, and what it does is it's kind of like a browser, so to speak, for all the different command prompts and terminals that you would use on a regular basis. So as you can see, I got tabs, and you can actually open new tabs, and by default on my computer it defaults to the command prompt on yours might be different. I think the default is usually the PowerShell. But if you have this, this fancy little app installed, you can actually click the little down arrow and then quickly open the terminals for any Linux distributions you have installed already. In my case, I already have Ubuntu and Kali installed as well. So if I go ahead and open Kali, it just comes in its own little tab. What's also cool about this application is that you can also customize it, so to speak. If you go ahead and right click, you can label the colors. I mean, you can label the tabs using colors, but more specifically, there is a way. Here we go. To completely change the appearance of these terminals. You can make the the background transparent. You can change the color, the font, everything using this configuration page. You will need to do some research. They provide links on what the different codes mean and what they do. But yeah, it's a very customizable app, and it kind of just keeps everything nice and organized versus having individual terminals open. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.